Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike the Intern, Ned Reynolds in the studio. It's Friday. Ned actually got here via canoe this morning. I didn't know he actually had one, but he actually is a pretty damn good paddler, if you didn't know that. But he got here pretty quick, and he was wearing his derby hat. I really like the yellow and blue colors you chose this year. I think that brings out your eyes a bit, Ned.
The Ukrainian colors, of course. And rowing, hey, 6 years in the Navy, you learn how to do a lot of things, believe me.
You look like an 18-year-old kid out there getting around trees and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, the Kentucky Derby is tomorrow, and it's a big deal because for several reasons. Number one, it's the first time they've been back to normal in about 3 years now, and normal is 150,000 at Churchill Downs in Louisville, which is what they anticipate having. Last year, they ran the race on Labor Day, but indeed they had to push it back because of COVID and had to limit the crowd. So it's time to get back to normal again, and we will be at, hopefully for tomorrow. The race will begin. The gates will open about 2 or 3 minutes before 6 o'clock. It's a 6:57, I should say, 6:57 Eastern Time, 5:57 obviously Central Time, when the gates open up, and the 20 thoroughbreds head for the roses. Who's going to win and run for the roses and so forth? Of course, it's all preceded. A lot of tradition at the Kentucky Derby. This is the 106th running of it. And, of course, every year the theme is My Old Kentucky Home, the favorite old folks home by Stephen Foster from way back in the 1800s. That's always sung, and all the Kentuckians cry and all that. Then they all drink their mint juleps. That's what I'm there for.
You a mint julep guy?
It's bourbon. Come on.
So if you ever want to set a Ned trap, what you do is you get a bottle of Jack, you put it there, you get one of those sticks with string, and you put it under a box, and he'll fall for it.
Have to have the mint leaf.
Oh, well, as long as there's bourbon there, though, he's going to get trapped. All right, so this is also a pretty big month for racing, and qualifying for the 500 starts when, Ned?
They are probably about 2 weeks away from starting. It's also locally in racing, too. Lucas Oil Speedway will have a huge event going on. But the big ones, the Indianapolis 500 and the NASCAR 600-mile race that they have, all on Memorial Day. Well, the qualifying for the 500 is a little bit different this year. They're going to change the qualifying rules a bit. It's kind of convoluted. But it'll be May 21st and 22nd, and then the pole position will be decided. What's very interesting about this is that there are 33 cars in the Indianapolis 500, but there are only 32 that are officially entered this year. So how is that going to work? Well, regardless of that, there'll probably be some entry that comes in very late. It's very expensive to enter a car in the Indianapolis 500, but over and above that, they'll probably end up with a field of 33, but this could be historic with one car less. Anyway, they'll have the qualifying coming up in a couple of weeks, and then we go into summer from there.
Man, it's a blast to watch, and hopefully you enjoy it this weekend. So, baseball Bears. Missouri State, they're playing today, right?
They are indeed. They'll take the field about 11 o'clock this morning over at Hammons Field. It'll probably be a little bit on the damp side, but I think we're done with the rain at least for a while. And the Bears have a very big weekend series with Southern Illinois. The Salukis from over in Carbondale are pretty good. I think the Bears are pretty good. They're beginning to come into form now. Some of the injured players are back in action. Bears knocked off Arkansas the other night, and Arkansas was number 4 team in America. That's a very big win for Missouri State. But winning the conference games is key. That conference tournament's only a couple of weeks away, May 24th. So it's time for the Bears to really get their game in gear, and they'll start with a 3-game series all in the morning, all starting at 11 o'clock over at Hammons Field.
Cardinals are out west, played San Francisco yesterday. They get a dub against them.
They did. 7-1, the Cardinals won. I'll tell you, this guy, Miles Michaelis, who is in their starting rotation, has been for several years, continues to be a puzzle. He does not overpower batters at all, and nor does he strike out a whole lot of them. He just beats them. And Michaelis has had a great year. Now, the San Francisco Giants ended up with 10 hits in this game and only 1 run. 7-1 was the final score. Cardinals got the early lead, held on to it. Michaelis just makes the opponents hit the ball back to somebody. And therein lies the key to pitching. You don't overpower them. You make him pitch to contact and let your fielders do the work, and that's what he does, and he does it so very well. Anyway, Cardinals get the win, 7-1, beat the San Francisco Giants. Cardinals are now 15-10 on the year and play the Giants again tonight.
I don't really think they had any chance of getting a game in yesterday in this area. But by any chance, did the Springfield Cardinals actually play yesterday?
Not only yesterday, but the day before. No way.
There's no way.
And yet they've played both of them.
I see it's the craziest thing, but again, a lot of the times it comes down to lightning and stuff, and a lot of this rain, there wasn't a lot of lightning associated with it.
Well, you have a point there, but that's more in terms of football. Baseball, of course, the game is altered by damp conditions, wet conditions. The ball becomes very slippery, and you can't. Baseball is much more of a finite game. So they do have to watch themselves pretty carefully, but that field drains very well. Hammons Field is about which we're talking. And, of course, it was covered. They did get last night's game in, much to the chagrin of the Spring Cards, who got beat 9-6 by the Northwest Arkansas Naturals. So after beating Northwest Arkansas 12-5 on Tuesday night, the Naturals have come back and won the next two games. Well, Springfield still has some work to do to get their pitching staff. Moises Gomez did hit number 14 last night. This is 14 home runs. Now, what makes that significant? He is the minor leagues' leading home run hitter. We're not talking about just the Texas League or any of the other AA, single A. We're talking about all of minor league baseball. He is the leading home run hitter, and he's not even the star of the show. Jordan Walker was supposed to be. But here's Moises Gomez, who has just come into his own. He was not originally a Cardinal. He was a Tampa Bay Ray. And the Cardinals picked him up as a free agent, and he has suddenly found the mojo. And he's hitting the daylights out of that baseball. But he'd trade that for a win.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Home runs are great, and it's a great record, but I guarantee you he'd rather have a better winning record with his team. Speaking of which, record tied 1-1 St. Louis Blues and the Minnesota Wild. Game 3 tonight.
Yeah, the one win by the Wild is their first of the year over the St. Louis Blues. The Blues went into their series with a 3-0 lead, made it 4-0 with an opening night victory, and lost the other night 6-2. So they're tie 1-1. The series. This is Stanley Cup, folks. And we're moving the series now. This is the first round of the series of the Stanley Cup. Move it now to the Enterprise Center in St. Louis, where they will play tonight. It's a late game. It's not going to start until about 8:30 or so. Why is it starting so late? Television, folks, come on. Television rules the world, I think, and it shouldn't. But be that as it may, that's when they'll start it. They'll face off at 8:30, and the Blues usually play a whole lot better at home.
Hopefully we can get a dub tonight and make that 2-1. Ned, you have a wonderful weekend, and happy Mother's Day.
And to you, sir.